Hey guys, my name is Chris Alford. I'm a pastor, and I'm a pastor at Port City Church here in Kingsport, Tennessee. And I've also worked as a business and leadership consultant for business and leaders in different areas of business and commerce. One of the reasons that I love to read, and I love reading and I love literacy, is because when I was your age, actually about a year before your age, my parents came into my bedroom one night and told me that we were moving to Mexico, that we were going to go to Mexico and we were going to learn a new language, Spanish, and eventually we would live in other countries like Venezuela, Colombia, and Chile. But this was a huge new world. All of my life, all I had known was the United States. And now my parents are telling me that we're going to pack up everything we own and we're going to move to a foreign country. Now, the areas where I lived, we didn't always have technology like television or radio and other things. So all I had was books. And that was my window. Books were my window to the world. And so I would learn about America as I grew older through books. I would learn about the countries that I moved to through books. Now, as a pastor, I spend a lot of my time reading and studying so that I can help other people know more about God and so that I can help other people work through their problems and grow to live a better life. I also do a lot of reading to help leaders develop themselves and to help businessmen create better business strategies for their life. But I remember us driving in a big long station wagon all the way from South Carolina to Querétaro, Mexico. And all along the way, all I had was a box of books to read. And my eyes were opened to all sorts of adventures and all sorts of information that could only have imagined before. There is so much more you can find in books than you can ever find in a movie. So I want to encourage you to become a reader. You will use reading in every part of your life. To become a reader and allow the words on the page and the imagination that God has given you take you to places and allow you to see things that you could never ever see any other way. So of all the books that I get to read, I love this one because it's Living in Mexico or Viviendo en Mexico. And that's what I got to do when I was in the first grade, was go to Mexico and learn a new language and a new culture. So I'm going to read with you, or you're going to read with me, the story of Living in Mexico by Chloe Perkins. It's a great book. So it starts out with Hola. That means hi in Spanish. My name is Rosa, and I live in Mexico. Mexico is a country in North America where more than 120 million people live, including me. Mexico is a beautiful country. Many people come here to visit the pretty beaches and deserts or to hike in the rainforest and in the mountains. The weather in Mexico is very different from place to place. Near the ocean and the rainforest, the weather is hot and humid. In the mountains or the plateau, the weather is dry and mild. Mexico has two big deserts in the north. The deserts are home to many plants and animals such as roadrunners, mountain lions, and cactuses that can grow up to 60 feet tall. Two mountain ranges run down Mexico's east and west sides. Between the mountains is the Mexican plateau. Many people live on the plateau. Mexico's capital, Mexico City, is on that plateau. It was built on top of an ancient city, Guadalajara. Now that's a mouthful. Guadalajara. Guadalajara holds a yearly festival for a special kind of Mexican music called mariachi. Cancun has some of the best beaches in the world. Oaxaca is home to colorful festivals and folk art. I live in La Paz, a city on the Baja California peninsula of Mexico. I live with my mom, dad, brother, and sister. My parents work for a sailing company. They take people on sailboats to see the great whales. I love watching the whales. I want to study whales when I grow up. Every morning I get ready for school. I brush my teeth and I put on my school uniform. Then I comb my hair neatly. In Mexico, it's important to look neat and clean for school. For breakfast, we eat fried eggs, beans, and sauce on a tortilla. A tortilla is a round, flat piece of bread. After breakfast, my mom and dad drive me to school. My brother and sister go to a school for younger kids. I put my things away and I talk to my friends about our reports. We are learning about archaeology, which is the study of ancient cultures. There are so many places in Mexico where the remains of ancient cities still stand. School starts at 8 o'clock each morning. The first half of the day is taught in Spanish. After snack time, we are taught in English. I speak both languages. Our first lesson in Spanish is about Mexico's history 10,000 years ago. People in the region started coming together to farm the land. In 1500 BC, the Olmecs people began growing many things we have today, such as corn, beans, and cotton. Around 600 BCE, the Olmecs split into different groups, one of them which was the Mayans. Between 1325 CE and 1529 CE, the Aztec people conquered many groups and brought them together. The Aztecs built pyramids and temples. They created jewelry and art and lived in huge cities. In 1519 CE, Hernán Cortés, a European explorer, was sent to claim the Aztecs' land for Spain. In 1521, he succeeded. The Spanish conquered more and more people and took their land, and they called the colony New Spain. Spain ruled for almost 300 years, but the people of New Spain wanted their own country. They wanted to be free. They fought many battles with Spain. The people won their freedom in 1821, and New Spain became Mexico. After our history lesson, we have a snack. Today's snack is juicy pineapple sprinkled with chile powder and lime juice. After we clean up, we start our math lesson in English. I really like math. Look, I got a 10 on my math test. In Mexico, we are graded with numbers instead of letters. A 10 is the best score you can get. We have geography and science lessons, and then school is over at 2 o'clock. My family picks me up for lunch. In Mexico, lunch is the most important meal of the day. My parents have a break from work to eat. For lunch, we are eating quesadillas. Quesadillas are like a sandwich. Cheese, beans, and chicken go on top of a tortilla. Then you put another tortilla on top and you cook it. As we eat, we talk about our day. After lunch, my brother, sister, and I go to our after-school programs. In Mexico, many kids attend after-school programs while their parents work. My little brother and sister play soccer. I take a special art class for older kids. We are learning about Diego Rivera and Frida Kahlo, two famous Mexican artists from the 1900s. Our parents pick us up when their work is over and we go home. In Mexico, we have a holiday in November called the Day of the Dead. We celebrate the lives of family and friends who have died. There are big parades and celebration. I helped my mom make a special bread. We will eat it at the parade tomorrow. My brother and sister put up pretty paper banners to decorate the house for the holiday. Dinner time in Mexico is usually a light meal. Tonight we are having chilled avocado soup. Before bed, I read my book about whales, fish, and dolphins around the world. Someday, I'm going to sail to different countries and see them. Would you like to visit Mexico someday? And that's all about Mexico. Its official name is United Mexican States, or as I like to call it, Mexico. The population is 122 million. That's why it's important to read, kids. The capital is Mexico City. The language is primarily Spanish o español, como lo estoy hablando yo en este momento, though the government recognizes 68 indigenous languages. All kinds of information that you can learn about Mexico and other countries and all sorts of other adventures, if only you will learn to love to read. I hope you guys have a great day and that your first grade is just as adventurous as mine.